Um, SK's idea was to just, I don't know. It sounded like he wants this area to not just be like a one specific gang, but more so a type of people. Like,
How do you get in here? Is it this door?
yeah, you can
Type
get,
of people.
yeah, as in like this would be known as like, if you, an area for where UK people would just go and chill.
Right.
But
Ooh.
the group would then operate from it, you know? As I'm assuming it's more so like he doesn't just want, he wouldn't be just like, for example, the Mandem block. It would just be, I suppose, Little London, right? It's just fucking UK people. You can't get into any of the apartments right now.
Okay. I
They're all
mean,
boarded off. But
with that though, with that becomes a problem. That unfortunately we had at the Mandem. I used to call them block floaters, is what I called them.
you know, that would amplify by about 10 times.
Yeah, exactly. So what would happen with that idea is it's great and all, but people would become very entitled. They'd be like, "Well, I'm hanging around here. Surely I should be involved." No, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a great idea, but it's going to attract people that he may not necessarily want. So, like, it's like I say, it's a great idea in concept, but he needs to think about like some random Jimmy who's more than welcome to hang around. We don't have a problem with that, or that he has a problem with that. But then that random Jimmy might become a bit entitled, like, well, I'm hanging around here 12 hours a day, mate. I deserve to do this, 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 and this with you. And then when SK turns around and says, mate, you're just a bloke on the street, and it starts getting awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
So it has its pros and cons. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. Yeah, we got plenty of people around here, you know, presents and whatnot. But at the same time, you are gonna have random Jimmys that you don't know, and will get. I mean, it's inevitable that they get that entitlement. It's just gonna happen. Hmm.
And he
Interesting.
did seem like he wanted to, you know, just let everything happen naturally in a way that no one, even like none of the old boys got any special treatment. They had to show they were actually about it again, you know. But
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know.
I mean that's the thing with, like I said, with the people that I had a conversation with, it was very much the same thing. It was like they wanted the tight knit group that they are 100% sure that they want, which, like I say, was about 5 or 6 people, and that they know will work hard, put the effort in to progress as a group, make money, you know, make moves, make contacts, and then anybody else that wasn't in that 5 or 6 would have to prove themselves in some way. How, I don't know, but I think it's only fair to have a conversation with everybody that, because the thing is, we're making a lot of judgments and a lot of guessing here. Because for all we know, we could turn around to Shanks and say, "Listen, Shanks, you know, we're starting up a group and we don't want you in it." And then he turns around and says, "Mate, I have no intention of being in it. I'm joining the Ballers." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's the problem that we had as a group before, was a big communication problem. And it sounds to me like if we even considered doing something again, before we've even got there, we're already having communication problems where people just aren't asking and getting the answers that they need, you know?
So how would you stand if you were hit up for something and Saint wasn't involved?
Well, I mean, I've already had that. And I did already say that, like, I understand why people are saying that. And to be quite honest, I think she would put the effort in to prove, like, let's say I was advised, you know, 5 or 6 people and anyone else can try and prove themselves. If it was a straight like, nah, she's got no chance, I'd obviously want to know why, because I do think that she has the ability to be a great asset and a great family member, gang member, whatever the fuck. But I do also understand that people want to start off small, and not everybody can be included. And if that has to be Saint, that has to be Saint. I think she would. I think she would understand. It would be hard to be on that side and understand, because you'd be a bit like, why me? But I think after me explaining to her and stuff, I think she'd be fine.
I think it would also depend on who they included and excluded too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because if it is if I mean, there's no denying that everybody thinks differently of each other, right? So if she saw people that she wasn't as close to as, like, let's say me, you, SK, Matt, for instance, she saw, like, I don't know, Moses, I don't even know, just people she's not as close to
Mm-hmm.
join in, and she wasn't getting the invitation, then maybe she would feel some type of way, and I'm sure everybody would feel the same in that sense. But at the end of the day, it ain't my call to make. So I guess I would just explain to her, this is how it is. I'm sure down the line, if you want to prove yourself, they've openly said that they're happy to have people who prove themselves. And if you put that 110% in, you shouldn't have any problems getting in. That's all they want. They want the effort. And if you're willing to put it in, then you shouldn't have any problems. So it sounds to me, though, based on the questions that you've asked me, that you have some sort of idea in mind. I'm curious to hear it.
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been around for like 8 days, right? So I just came back yesterday. SK brought me here, told me his plan with this. You're after telling me there's other people thinking of shit too, which I haven't heard about. But I don't know. I've been very much. I've obviously, with not being around for 8 days, I feel like I've missed a lot. And I didn't know where I was gonna go 8 days ago, and that certainly hasn't changed now. I really don't know like what the fuck I'm gonna do. It's like if someone turned around to me now and asked me, do you want to join this?
Being what, X-Mandem,
yeah,
or like just anyone?
Anything
randomly?
at all.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know how I'd answer it.
Yeah.
It's still very early days, but
That's the thing, because we've obviously all just come back to the city and we're kind of meeting up again. I think things change and opinions change and people change, and as you said, shit is flying right now. Like shit 3 days ago ain't the same as it is now.
exactly, yeah.
I think it's very fair to, at the very least, have a conversation with everybody, even if it's on an individual level or as a big meeting like we've done in the past, and get everybody's opinion, because people might have different mindsets to where they were 5 years ago, and it's a bit unfair for me to think that, like I say, Shanks or Moses or Vince or you or Matt or whoever are the exact same people, because I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you've changed, you've had some experiences, you've probably thought about how it used to be, 15 plus people. And I think a lot of people are probably thinking 15 people, yeah, fuck all of that. Like, I think a lot of people are on the same page that, like, doing a copy paste of what was before is a bad idea.
Yeah,
as much
I
as we
think
love
so
everybody individually, like, we had our problems, and even if people have changed, I do still think those problems would arise. So
I mean, you weren't there, but the meeting I called about the house like 2 weeks ago. That was what decided the date as the 31st, which obviously didn't happen. But it was more just to try to get people moving. But that meeting brought back so many bad memories for me, man.
Did it feel like old times?
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's why I feel like if I think, first of all, I will say that if I were to do anything, I'd want to join something that didn't have a set leader. I would like it to be small. Maybe let's say 6 people, right? I don't really want. I mean, I guess I could name names, but this is just the names that I'm thinking on the top of my head. Just because I haven't named them doesn't mean that they don't have. I wouldn't want them. They don't have the chance. It's just names. But me, you, SK, Matt, James, Saint. I mean, people like Denzel Patar are obviously great assets as well, but I feel like there's 2 different sets of people in the Mandem, because I feel like me, you, Matt, SK are not the same as Denzel Patar. They are like, we're like a bit more gang, or at least we were. I don't know what people's opinions are now, but based on the limited time I spent with people, it seems like people are still on that mindset. And then obviously you got people like Denzel and Patar, who are not really gang. They're more business related, which would be great to have as assets, but as gang members or whatever, not really. I'm gonna keep it real. They're not gang members. They're business people, and they know that. This isn't like a dig at them. They are well aware of that. So I feel like the names that I mentioned, me, you, SK, Matt, James, and Saint. Um, terrible timing. Someone's banging on this door right now, Steve. My bad. Yeah, so what did I say? Me, you, SK, Matt, James, Saint. I feel like out of the group, the most fitting for me and my direction, which is gang. I listen, I went back to fucking Scotland for 5 years. As lovely as it was, chilling out, spending some time with Saint, I miss the gang life. So on a gang level, those are the people that I would personally start with. Having people like Denzel and Patara as, business partners are great to have. But on a gang level, that's where I kind of stand, and I feel like would be
Bro just sprinted down the stairs, you could tell.
with. And I will say this, I feel like there's a couple of people that are very much on the same level as that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I before I went away, I was even toying with the option, the possibility of making my own thing. But what the fuck?
That sounds.
Someone just sold weed.
Interesting. Yeah, the only thing for me is what I would say is if we did do that, I think that we would operate better because it would be obviously significantly smaller without a leader. And that's not to say that if you just start your own thing, I won't want to be involved or you're not good enough to be a leader. I just feel like sometimes with, many years ago, Steve, when I say many years ago, probably 10 years ago, I don't know if you know like Miguel and, like Raul, they used to be in that Hydra gang. Yeah, there used to be a gang with like me, Saint, Raul, Miguel, and a couple other people that you probably don't know. There was only, I believe there was 7 of us, and it worked amazingly. No leader, and the reason it worked amazingly was because of 2 main things: communication and being on the same fucking page. Those are the 2 most important things. You don't need a leader if you're on the same page, because there doesn't need someone to be calling the shots because everybody is on the same wavelength. So it doesn't become a problem where
I nearly think that's impossible on NoPixel, bro.
A guy to say, yo, this is what we're doing, because everyone's already like, this is what we're doing, So, and I feel like that's probably why I did leave out a few names, because they're not on that page. They could be on that page if they, maybe, I guess I'm being a bit judgmental here. Like I say, it was 5 years ago, so maybe I'm also a bit of a problem because I'm judging people based on what I know from 5 years ago. But they could more than well be on the same page, and this is why I'm going to keep saying that I think it's fair to have a conversation with these people.
Yeah. Have you spoke to SK?
Not really.
Because the impression I got, obviously this is me judging the scenario, but the impression I got, it did seem like he wanted to run it. You know what I mean?
I think he also knows, though, from past experience, like, for instance, Roadmen, when we did Roadmen, who was it? It was me, Matt, LJ, Shanks, SK, and Cruiser, that there wasn't really a need for a leader. I guess I was the quote-unquote shadow leader, and then when SK came in, it was kind of me and SK kind of running the show, but not really, because when we did it, it was a case of everybody was on the same page, and everybody kind of understood that, like, we're all in this together. And it wasn't really we didn't have any problems, honestly, brother. Like, the Roadmen, we didn't have no problems. There was no 75-hour circle jerks going around in circles. There was no arguing, there was no bullshit. It was, this is what we're doing, we're getting it done, and everybody was on board. SK knows that. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's worth me having a chat to him, because sure, if I said that to him, he would probably agree, but I'd like to know why he wants to be the leader.
Like I said, he didn't explicitly say that. It's just
he kind of gave off that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing with, like, so him and you, like, I don't believe that you guys being leaders would impact the gang in any way. But I do feel that maybe, or whatever it would be, but I do feel like maybe starting off that it should be a case of no leader allowing everyone to express themselves and kind of getting a good judge and gauge on how everyone is before something like that gets set in, because it could go one or two ways really. It could either be great and everybody agrees with your opinions and SK's opinions, or it could be complete opposite and everyone decides like, oh wait, shit, you know, a lot's changed in 5 years, fuck all of that. So
Yeah.